Hi, today I want to show you how you can integrate Uploadcare inside of Wized and Webflow. Now I haven't been doing Wized and Webflow videos since ages, but a lot of people have been asking me to do more of them and to make new ones on the new version of Wized, so I thought I'll start with an Uploadcare video. Now it's the coolest, nicest file uploader, and I want to show you how you set it up and more importantly, how you actually get the data from it. So let's take a look at that. So I have a Webflow project right here, and now we need to integrate the web component from Uploadcare first. So you want to have an Uploadcare account, which I have right here. And they give you this Get Started configuration guide, which is really helpful. It is an interactive guide, so it walks you through the setup process very nice and easy. So in here, we're going to select JavaScript because Wized runs on vanilla JavaScript. Vanilla JavaScript is something that we call when we just blank import it. Now, it does give you a Webflow option, but we are not using the Webflow option because we're using Wized. We're working with vanilla JavaScript here. So there you go. And now we can say light, dark, auto. In this example, we're going to do light because I'm a light mode fan. Now, I do like the drop area, which is probably the nicest way how you can configure this uploader. I really like the drop area. We can enable some settings here, right? So it gives you a visual way to configure your beautiful file uploader. We can do grid or list. I do like list, it's very nice. Image editor, yes, we want the image editor to be enabled. And then open on upload, no, we don't want that. So there you go. Now we get this code generated by Uploadcare that we can simply import into Webflow. So we want to import the first two pieces here. So let's copy this. We don't want to do those custom web components because we will use the Webflow custom element to integrate them so we can add Wized attributes natively to them. So let's copy the scripts that we need to load. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an embed on the page and I'm going to paste it right inside of here. That will be the Uploadcare code embed. And how about we'll wrap this in a div block so it's nice and organized. There you go. Now, the next step will be building those web components. And we want to manually build them so we get full configuration access. So if you see we have this UC config, that's the element name. It's a custom web component, which the browser supports. So we are going to go inside of here, and I'm just going to add a div so I can segment those. And in this div, I'm going to now look for the custom component, right? That is the custom DOM component, the custom element. Now I have the custom element. I will go on settings on the custom element and give it the custom name tag, UC_config. This will now turn it into a UC_config element. Now we will need to add the context name. I will copy the context name property and add it as an attribute. I'll do context name, my uploader. We will actually make this dynamic thanks to Wized, so we can have multiple of them on the page, but I'll show you how you can do that later on. And now we're going to take the source list attribute and we will put this right on this element source list. And now we'll copy the source list that Uploadcare gave us right inside of here. We'll put this right inside of here, and then we'll go with the next attribute. Very nice and simple. Now we'll put our public key right inside of here. There you go. And now we will copy our public key. You don't have to worry about exposing that on the front end. It's completely fine putting this inside of here. Now what we want to do is we have added this element, which is pretty cool. Now we need to add this uploader element. So the UC file uploader minimal. We will now add another custom DOM element. So the custom element here, and I will give it the custom tag, which is how ES6 web components work. And now we will add our context name. You see how the context name is the same? This is what identifies an uploader instance. So we will also use a Webflow component to streamline this process, but we'll do one thing at a time. So now let's put the context name inside of here. and I will put my name inside of here, my uploader, and then we'll make it dynamic. But let's just put this right inside of here. There you go. Now we can switch the class UCLight. We'll just add the class, and we'll put the class right inside of here, UCLight, and that was the component. And then we need the context provider, which they started finally including in their dashboard. I remember the times where Uploadcare didn't include the context provider and nobody knew how to get the files that were uploaded in the Uploadcare widget when they moved from version 1 to version 2. That was a whole thing of its own, but now they thankfully provide us the CTX provider. So let's copy this CTX provider component, which is actually the most important component in this setup. So let's go back to the custom DOM component again, the custom element, and we're going to put it right inside of here, the UC upload CTX provider. Now we will put our CTX name on it, and you see they all link together. That's the whole idea of it. And now I will put this in here. The name will be my uploader. There you go. So now we have this nicely all integrated into each other. And now we can actually look at it on the live side, and we should start to see that the Uploadcare uploader will be rendered. So let's open the Webflow site. And we see we have the Uploadcare file uploader rendered inside of here. Look how beautiful that is. Now, the biggest challenge is how the heck do we get the files? And that has been a problem since ages. Now, let's first, for best practices, hide this custom code element. Let's do, not overflow. We need to do display none. Okay, let's publish this and let's see if the element still renders. Okay, let's see. We'll wait a little bit, and now we will see. Okay, perfect. The element still renders. That's beautiful. So now I want to take this container and create a component. Let's call this Uploadcare, right? And this will be our Uploadcare component. Now we have this Uploadcare component with all those. We can now create some component properties. So let's create some properties for the component. I will provide a text property called ID, so we can reuse this component across multiple instances of our project without having to reconfigure all of those elements to make it simpler for us. So there you go, we'll have the ID. And the ID will be passed into many different instances, but we'll take a look at that later. So I have the property ID. Now I will just go on this CTX name and I will bind it with, oh, I need an override actually. Let's call this one then ID. Property ID group. Interesting. It won't let me do that. So, oh, I didn't save the ID. Or, no, it's a prop. So let's just delete this because the last time I touched Webflow was ages ago. And let's go to the value, create a new whatever this is. Call it ID. Default text, my uploader. We'll create this one. And now we should have created one. So it's now linked here, right? And then we go inside of here and we'll take this ID and we'll link it with the same one. Beautiful. And then we'll go to the provider and we will link the provider with the same one. So we have a dynamic. So now you see all of them have this dynamic. If I click outside of here, we see now we have a component property, which is exactly what we want. And we can now attach all of them. Now there's one thing, how do we get this into Wized? So let's open our Uploadcare component again. Oh, I didn't mean to open it. So edit component. And now we need to add our Wized attribute so we can register this element in Wized. For that, we go to the context provider and we will add our Wized attribute. The Wized attribute will be the same like the ID, so we have unified naming for everything. Perfect. So now that we have this set up, we can just exit this, go to the page. There you go. And now in here, we already have this set to be my uploader. Let's call this my uploader 1. Now, if we publish this to the selected domains, we now have our Uploadcare instance as a reusable component set up. There you go. If I open it, it still works. Perfect. So now we can close all those tabs here, and we can go to Wized and reload the Wized canvas. We will now see that in Wized we will have this Uploadcare element, and if we go on X-ray mode, you will see that my uploader is registered as an element on the page, which is very cool. So now we have the ability to set certain attributes in here, which we don't need, but we also have the ability to register an action or an event. And this is pretty cool because this will give us access to the data coming from Uploadcare. So let's add an event here, and let's go into the event. And now you see, okay, what event am I using? Because I have blur, I have change, I have click, but here's the thing. This is just a suggestion list. You can run any custom HTML event, and because Uploadcare uses a custom web component, it has a custom event. It can emit a custom event. So if we take a look at Uploadcare's documentation for handling data output and event handling, you will see that there is a change event on your uploader. And there is also an uncommon upload success. You can use any of those events. Now, the most used ones is probably the change because it registers all the changes and is the easiest one to use. Now, depending on what you do, you may want to use different events. For this video, for illustrational purposes only, I will use the custom change event. So now I have registered a change event and I can get data from this event. So we don't need to prevent default, but we do need to create an action. That action in here will be a run function. We don't do a run function just for the sake of it. I do a run function just to illustrate you how this is working by doing a console log. So now in this code editor, which is very nice because I can expand it, I will do a console.log and I will console log the event data. Now you may ask yourself the question, how do we get the event data? Now Wized runs the JavaScript API under the hood. It's a custom JavaScript runtime, and if we take a look at its JavaScript API, it can give us some ideas in how this works. So we have this event object that will be able to give us the event value. If you want to read this yourself, take a look at the Wized JavaScript API documentation. But there is this event property that will allow us to get the event data. So let's go back to Wized and just do a console log with event. Now let's see if this is even. I remember it used to be e dot, but it could be wrong. I think it's target e dot target. Let's see. I will try event, and I'll see if it works. If not, it says something else, and we'll figure it out. But if I now go to the console, and we'll see if this works, right? So let's go out of X-ray mode, and let's try uploading something. And let's see if there is an event being logged if I upload my Wized certificate. And you see, we are now getting a custom event logged to the console. So it does work with event, even though it's crossed through. So that seems to work fine. And as you can see, I'm now getting event, detail, all entries. And this will give us on all entries, it will give us all the entries and it will give us a list of all the files uploaded that we can send to our backend. So now the question is, how do we get to that list? Because we don't need all the other stuff around it. We can do, because the way custom HTML events work is they put the custom parts in a detail. So we're going to now console log event dot detail, right? And I will close the function editor. I'll close this, and now let's delete this. And now you see we get this detail with all entries and an array that's empty because right now nothing is in the file uploader. Let's upload something again. Okay. And now as you can see, we got another event here with all entries and an array of one item inside of it. So let's copy this wording, all entries, which gives us the list of all the files being uploaded, and we'll do dot all entries. There you go. So now if we close this, remove this, we will now get an array of the files being uploaded. So if I upload now one file inside of here, as you can see, I will get a list of all the files. I will get the CDN URL. You can send that to Xano. I will get all the errors, I will get some of the file data, I will get all the data, and this CDN URL is a usable CDN URL that you can just send to your backend of choice. You can either store it or take it as a file resource, as you can see right inside of here, take it as a file resource and store it in your database with your own CDN, however you want to set that up. But that's how you're getting the data. So now with this console log, we know this formula to get to the event data that Uploadcare is emitting. So we can copy this, discard this action, create a Wized variable. So I will go to my data store and I will create a new variable. I will call this my uploader1 data. Initial value will be an empty array. Always make sure to write return. And we don't need to persist, and it doesn't need to be computed because we're setting it manually. And now I can go back to my elements page here on this file uploader 1, which I really like the new elements page. I can go on my actions. I will add a custom action on its element event. I will go with a set variable. The variable will be the uploader 1 data. And then I will just paste this formula in here to get the appropriate event data from this custom event emitted by Uploadcare. So now we have it all set up. And if we take a look and reloading the page, we will now have a fully working solution. So if I now upload some files, I can upload many files, whatever I want. Let's upload those 2 files here, like a project that I have. I will now upload both files. As you can see, they're uploaded. And now, if I go inside of here, you will see in this variable here, we have those files uploaded with the appropriate links. We can now then, we could go to the element here. And after we have set this event, we could then add another action to execute a request to send this data to the backend or wherever you want to send it to. And then you just have those links and you can store it in there. And that's how simple you can implement Uploadcare inside of Webflow and Wized, and then send it to your backend and work with it. It's a beautiful file uploader. It gives you a beautiful image editor just like this, with very little to no setup. Really, you can change lots of things with it. It's just absolutely stunning. A beautiful editor. There you go. And this is how you set this up. And it's super simple. If you have any questions about the setup, please feel free to go into the comments, ask your question, and I'm more than happy to help. I'm here to help you with any kinds of setup when it comes to custom JavaScript inside of Wized and Webflow. And if you are working with Wized and Webflow and you feel stuck at certain parts and you're like, hey, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to solve this, I need some extra help, take a look at NoCodeProCode.com. We used to only have it for Nordcraft and Xano, but I've been getting lots of emails, people saying, hey, can I join if I have some trouble with Wized? Because I have been doing 200 Wized videos or so. And we have opened it up. It's now not only Nordcraft and Xano, because Nordcraft and Xano is not the solution to everything. Sometimes Wized is a solution. Sometimes WeWeb is a solution. You can't just in life look at one thing and have a closed mind. You need to have a mind that's open to everything. And sometimes what is a solution for this is not a solution for this. It also depends on your skill level, your expertise, and your preferences. So we have opened up the community NoCodeProCode.com to also help you in our daily office hours with any Wized problems that you may have. So if your Uploadcare doesn't work, if you have some AG grid problems or some JavaScript things that seem to hold you off, you don't have to go out there, hire a developer necessarily. You can take a look, join the community for low monthly fee, and you can join the daily office hours. We're in a Zoom meeting. You can share your screen, you can show your problem, you can show what's going on, and I will personally help you resolve it in our daily group Zoom meetings Monday to Friday. It's the cheapest way how you can get expert advice and get unstuck when working with Wized, Webflow, Xano, or all kinds of visual development / low code procedures. So if you have some interest in that, definitely go to NoCodeProCode.com. I'll link the link in the video description down below. And If you have some ideas for new Wized videos, please let me know. I can't wait to dive into that because JavaScript is fun. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you in the next video.